Pattaya. It's the first Jock and Doc show of 2014. Welcome, Paul.
Welcome, Doc. Well, fantastic, isn't it? A whole year ahead of us. What's going to happen? Where are we going to go? Who are we going to meet?
And will we last? Will we live through it all?
Well, I certainly hope that I will. I mean, you know, you're in your autumn years, so who knows what's going to happen, right? Saying that, it's not because you're old. It's just the fact that you keep rolling cars and things like this, you know.
Now, come on. It was 2 years ago that I rolled the Escort. I mean, it should be forgotten about by now.
You know, it's like people always remember that one sheep that I did in Scotland. No, I'm only joking. Actually, I seen your response on Facebook to Dr. William, who was talking about getting back in the saddle, literally, about playing polo. And your advice was basically, bugger it, get on with it, mate. And, you know.
Absolutely.
But he can fall off of the horse. You can't fall off of the car. Not yet.
That's dead right. I've tried to avoid that. Now,
all right.
We really should tell the people out there where we are. We're at Dicey Riley's on Second Road, and we're here for the Joint Chambers of Commerce. Now, the chambers are, ta-da!
The Brits, the Americans, the Aussies, and the South Africans here tonight as well? I think so.
The South Africans? Yes, I think the South Africans are here, but not too many of them.
Not too many. I know Graham McDonald's here. Actually, the British ambassador is here as well. But we won't be doing an interview with him tonight. But I just interviewed him at Tropical Birds 10 minutes ago, so you can watch that show on another time.
I see.
Okay.
And this is the British.
Yes.
The head Sherang.
Yes. And I interviewed the new defence attaché as well.
Goodness me, does the UK think it's going to be under siege?
No, I think Thailand thinks it's going to be under siege. Cut. Okay, all right. Okay, so we're here for the combined chambers, and as you say, we're here at Dicey Riley's. We've got a number of sponsors tonight, so hopefully we can get to chat to some or all of them.
More than one?
Yes, indeed. Four tonight, but we'll speak to them in time, I'm sure.
Right. Okay, stick with us. We'll find some interesting people to interview. And if we can't, we'll interview the sponsors.
Oh, gosh. Or I'll interview you. Right? Stay tuned.
Standing ovation, but you put on quite a show. Really had me going. Now it's time to go. Curtains finally closing. That was quite a show. Very entertaining, but it's over now. So go on and take a bow, but it's over now.
Right then, Paul. I have to tell you, at the Bangkok Hospital Pattaya, we have so many gorgeous girls.
Yes.
We couldn't get any of them to come, so we got this pair. Right. I have Nui and Suri. Now, Nui, you've been with the hospital how many years?
For 9 years already.
9 years. And Suri, you've been with the hospital 9 minutes.
I just started working only 2 weeks.
Same department? Or?
Yeah, right.
Same department? Yes. Okay. Now, to be serious. Yeah. Yeah, this program really doesn't get serious. But have you noticed, or have you got any details on the downward trend of tourism? I mean, we all know what's happening in Bangkok, which isn't happening here, but is it having an effect on Pattaya?
Yes, as far as I know from the TAT of the main office, I heard from them that the tourist number are dropping down, and I hope everything gonna be very, it will be good very soon. That as far as I know, and the majority of the tourists in Pattaya right now, they're Russian. But some companies right now they are stopped to invest regarding the business situation right now. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no two ways about it. With 46 countries publishing travel warnings about Thailand, I mean, it is having a real effect. Yeah, you get about more than I do, Paul, being a young fella such as you are. What have you been sort of finding is the general concept or idea?
Well, yes, I agree with you. You know, the things that are happening in Bangkok are happening in Bangkok, and in a sense, they have got nothing to do with Pattaya and really, you know, anything outside of Bangkok. However, it has affected things. I've been speaking to hoteliers over the last 6 weeks, and occupancy is down a great deal, unfortunately, because it's people just think about that isolated case in Bangkok, and then they think, well, I'm going to get there, and they're going to burn us down, or there's going to be tanks on the street. In Pattaya, it's business as usual, but it isn't, because actually the tourist numbers are down, and we're very well aware that there's been a lot of cancellations. My question to you would be, how has that affected the hospital?
I think it will be affect about the number of the patient and increasing and reducing, you know, because right now regarding to the Thai people right now, they are moved from Bangkok to Pattaya.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that you have to remember, Paul, is that the hospital doesn't rely only on tourists, but because of all the problems in Bangkok, we're getting a lot of Thai people coming down and swelling the numbers.
Well, actually, if I may, I was speaking to the general manager of the Centara Grand Mirage, and he was saying, okay, occupancy from the international market is down. However, the domestic market, the national market, is up. And what's happened as a result of what's happening in Bangkok is that companies that would normally hold their meetings and seminars in Bangkok are now relocating for the time being to Pattaya. So Pattaya always seems to win. It was the same with the floods. You know?
Now, Suri, as you say, you've only been with the hospital for 2 weeks. What's your first impression?
My first impression is about the place, the organization itself, and the department and the teamwork.
Okay.
She got that word perfect. I saw her reading it before. All right, girls, thank you very much for being on the show. We've got 4 sponsors of the joint chambers, so we've got to go and talk to them. But great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Right. Paul, let's get some of these
We're
sponsors.
going to get serious now, are we?
No.
Yeah? Now that you've spoken to the totty, right? All right, stay tuned.
That's why I'm lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I wish that I could go back home.
All right, we've found one of the sponsors, and that is
Simon Matthews from Manpower.
Correct.
from Manpower. Now, Simon is very well known, not only as the head sherang of Manpower, but a man who has the worst taste in shirts that the world has ever seen.
Maybe your viewers would disagree with that, and maybe you should do a survey and see what they say, yes?
We did.
Okay. I give up then.
All right. How is Manpower doing in this troubled times?
Well, we had our best year ever. It was an amazing year. We've got a lot of business down in the automotive, down in the Eastern Seaboard. At the moment, the protests in Bangkok haven't really impacted us. People can still go to interviews. A lot of clients and offices are open. So, long-term effect on investment hasn't kicked in yet. So we'll wait and see on that. But so far, we've a good year, and so far this year looks promising. So have to keep our fingers crossed.
We're sheltered from what happens because Suvarnabhumi is there and you can come straight to Pattaya and you don't have to go through Bangkok.
Absolutely.
So how are things on the streets?
Well, obviously there are pockets of violence, and I heard on the news today that there was more violent clashes. Generally, you know, it is quite okay. But if you are in the demonstration and someone, you know, you can get caught up and, you know, by accident. So just stay clear of, you know, where the demonstrations are and don't go there. Apart from that, it's normal.
I would imagine, in actual fact, that you are quite safe because you're not wearing a red shirt or a white shirt or a yellow shirt or a black shirt. It's such a god-awful mixture.
Absolutely, that's what and I've got a whole wardrobe sort of like this, as you know, Ian. So I'm covered for all events, so no issues on that.
Simon, to tell our viewers, you work in recruitment, it's like, for headhunting and all this sort of stuff, right?
And contract staff. We've got 14,000 contract staff in Thailand.
Okay, tell me what has been the shift in the last 3 years. We were talking earlier about the floods and how that, you know, it kind of it got Bangkokians excited about paddy again.
Sure.
But there was a change to for the industrial sector as well, where they realised, well, let's get out of the flood zones.
Sure.
And you know, how's that impacted on your business?
Well, the floods obviously caused an impact on someone that's, you know, in the Utia area. I mean, actually, I remember many years ago to see a sign down here selling that they had water on the industrial sites, and now they're selling that they're flood free. So. No, it is, you know, there were some factories that haven't moved from Ayutthaya and Navacon down to the eastern seaboard, whether it's Hemarat or Amata or the eastern seaboard down here. So, yes, you know, but we haven't seen, you know, companies, you know, I got asked, are companies going to pull up and move out? Not at all. We're still seeing a lot of investment. And actually, there's more interest coming from China now. You know, a lot of factories set up in China because of the wages, but now China have been growing at 10-15% annually on salaries, so Thailand has got a bit competitive edge, so there's still hope.
Right. And just as I suspected, Paul, made in China.
Absolutely. Aren't we all, yes?
Actually, Doc, you know, on a serious note, we've discussed this before, that Thailand has this ability, whatever the hell happens, it always seems to bounce back.
And stronger sometimes, you know. I mean, yes, I mean, I've been here 21 years. I don't, you know, not as long as Dr. Ian, but I mean, how many coups and floods and everything we've been through. But you know, the Thai people are very resilient, and I'm sure they'll sort it out and move on. We just hope as quickly as possible.
Simon, thank you very much indeed.
And you know, Mike talks about my shirt, Ian talks about my shirts, but his shoes. You know, so there you go.
Trademark shoes.
All right,
They are my silent protest against conformity.
No, very well. All right, guys, thanks as always.
Right,
And
thanks,
keep up the
Simon.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Paul. Take care. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, cheers.
Okay,
Right,
then.
well, that was pretty. I mean, actually, your shoes aren't that silent, really. I wish it was a bit more silent.
Right.
All right, so some more.
Let's see if we can find
let's get
somebody
another
else.
willing victim.
Righto. One of the other sponsors this evening is Town and Country Properties. And here is the man himself, Case Kuipers. Welcome to the program, Case.
Thank you very much, Ian, and Happy New Year.
Okay, what brings you to be a sponsor of a joint chambers evening?
I guess they were the first one to teach me how to network. And so I've always been in support of them, and they've always been in support of me or us or whatever I'm doing with Movers and Shakers, or Town and Country in that respect. And there was a little slot open tonight for a co-sponsorship, and I thought, well, why not? You know, it's a nice opening of the new year.
Indeed. And I'm quite sure that the joint chambers are very appreciative of the fact that you're in there as a sponsor.
Maybe.
Okay, this has always been one of your, other than Havana Bar with Movers and Shakers, you've always had a soft spot for Dicey O'Reilly's, haven't you?
Definitely. I think Dicey Riley for me, it's first of all I like indoor networking. I don't really fancy outdoor events because it's always too hot or it's raining or whatever. Dicey Riley has a central bar, and what you have in a place with a central bar is people automatically start to commute. So they walk around and you meet people, and that's what networking is all about, you know. So you see other faces, and I love it. Yeah. Dicey Riley is very good.
There's, with the current economic situation, there appears to be a fair amount of gloom and doom in the building centre. The number of projects appears to be far greater than the actual number of people wishing to be in it.
Not totally agree. Just look at traffic during weekends here in Pattaya. It's almost like disasters are becoming favorable for Pattaya City, like the flooding a couple of years ago. There was suddenly a much greater interest from Bangkok Thai investors, domestic investors, than there was ever before. Right now, I mean, since 1923, no, sorry.
I didn't know you were that old.
Yes, no. 1932, there has been 23 coups in Thailand. So it's a reoccurring event. And there's a lot of people still there that, you know, are very fresh with the last event. And this is another one. And give it a couple of more days and this will end again. And then, you know, just life continues as it is. I always remember my mum when she sees headlines on CNN and then she's calling, are you okay? Yes, Mum, I'm okay. I'm just having dinner just around the corner from where it's all happening and I'm fine. You know, no problem.
In fact, I'm sure that it's of interest to our viewers to know that Case actually has a mum.
I'm very happy with it as well, yes.
Actually, I've met his mother and she's a charming lady. But you're right, Case. It's almost like, what's the word? It comes in cycles in Thailand.
Well, you can almost put your clock, you know, it's around 4.5 years. And it always occurs, very often it starts to rumble in about September. Every year, every time. I mean, it's... Yeah.
The good side, if there is a good side to it, is that the exchange rates have improved in the favour for people who've got their money in dollars, in euros, and pounds. It's good. Better than it was.
Yeah, well, Paul, I agree that whenever the exchange rate is better, then you know it's good for people that have that type of money in their pocket, or for the locals that are trying to sell you something against that currency. It always goes like a flow, you know, it's up and down and up and down. But one of the things that I think would be a safety umbrella for all of us here, whatever happens, I mean, in every community, in every country of the world, there are people that are a little bit, you know, over the top. But one thing, Thais are chauvinistic, and Thais will always say, we Thais, we love Thailand, and with that respect and vision, no matter whether you have a red shirt or a yellow one or a blue or a pink one, it doesn't really matter because Thais stay Thai. And so, you know, there's a lot of noise, but in the end of the day, it'll all fade out and life is back to normal again.
So despite everything that's happening in Bangkok, you remain upbeat about the future.
Always. You know me, long time, so yeah, always.
All right. Good. No, I think that's it. And I mean, I think it's a great way to start the new year. You got to look forward. You got to be upbeat, and these things are taken as bumps in the roads.
Yeah. It's nothing more than a speed bump. So you just drive slowly a little bit. You know that you never drive slowly, and then vroom, go again. That's it.
All right, Case. Thank you very much indeed, and Happy New Year.
You too, and everybody out there too. All right, you too. Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks, yes. Yeah, well, right, sweet. Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay.
All right then, Paul.
Keep going. Okay.
No. Yes.
Yes.
No. When I say keep going, yes. Let's do a close.
Let's do a close, okay, because we haven't managed to find a couple of sponsors. Case is right what he says about Dicey's, because everybody tends to sort of migrate and move around, but it's quite challenging trying to find the people that we want to interview. However, that's our job, but I think it's time that we've earned our beer, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I'm going to buy you one, soon as it's New Year.
Goodness me, I don't really believe it. He's going to buy me a beer. I'll bet it's only a half.
That's his best Pakistani accent. And I'm only buying a beer because it's free. If you're interested in getting involved in business in Pattaya, in the Eastern Seaboard, a good place to start. As Kay said, a good introduction to networking is to come along to the joint chamber events. They're held every month at a different venue. But you've got this tonight. We've got the Aussies, the Brits, the Americans, and the South Africans, I think. And it's great. You meet people from all different nationalities, from all different sectors of business. So it doesn't matter if you're working in graphic design or personnel or whatever, or advertising. Come along here. It's a good way to hit the ground and get running.
And we should also point out the number of the people there are from the Automotive Focus Group.
Yes, indeed.
Which is the fastest growing sort of single entity group in Pattaya.
Well, it's become the sort of backbone of industry over the last few years. And that bellies, what we've been sort of touching on tonight, a lot of companies relocating here. And, of course, Ford, you've got your finger on that particular pulse more than any, Doctor.
All right, Paul. All right then, folks out there, this was the first Jock and Doc show for 2014. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found some interesting facts in amongst it all. And Pattaya is an interesting place full of interesting people, and I'm glad to be one of them, and so's he.
I'm just half, probably. See you again. Bye-bye.